Hi everyone, I have here the unofficial Harry Potter cookbook, and I've had this in my possession since March, and I've cooked 0 recipes so far. I'm not a chef by any means. Sometimes I make stuff and it comes out good, other times I make stuff and it's edible at best. So I figured I might as well choose a recipe at random. I have already previously went through this back in March, and I posted noted spots that were sweet as pink and blue or savory in their dishes that I liked. So you can see this book is chock full of recipes, and I probably only liked a handful of them. So I figure we're just going to jump in randomly, and then I'll take you shopping with me for the ingredients. We will cook the random recipe together and see what it looks like and what it tastes like. So, okay, we're gonna do blues. I don't know. Let's go with this one. Okie dokie. The roast beef of Old England. So this says, if anybody's interested, Ron has just discovered that leprechaun gold is fake, and he rants about it as he serves himself roast beef and Yorkshire pudding. I love Yorkshire pudding, so we're making, I guess, 2 recipes today. I probably actually marked this off for this, but I can't just have Yorkshire pudding for dinner. And my mom makes really good ones, so I hope it comes out good. As always, nothing spoils his appetite. And even though he complains about being poor, he continues to scarf down potatoes. Roast beef and Yorkshire pudding go good together, like peas and carrots. They're almost always served together, and lunch after a niffler nestling with Hagrid is no exception. This is our dinner today, and feel free if you'd like to screenshot the recipe for yourself. Here's the Yorkshire pudding one, and here's the roast beef. I guess let's go shopping for the ingredients now. Just looking at the ingredients really quick, and there's like nothing to it. It's just rib roast and salt and pepper. Is that all that takes? I feel like that's gonna be pretty bland. I did decide that I am going to go off recipe a bit. I'm picking up some gravy and I'm going to add some onions and stuff to it because I do like that with my Yorkshire pudding. But you'll see me picking up minced garlic and a few other things because salt and pepper just sounds a little bit boring to me. So we are sticking to the theme, but we might be going a bit rogue. So first up, I am going to cut up some onion. Some slices will go on top of the roast for when I put it in the oven, and then some I'm going to put into the gravy for my Yorkshire pudding. I've already heated up some butter, so now I'm just going to add my diced onion into it and add a little bit of sugar so we can caramelize it. Next, I'm adding the beef broth, and then I'll actually be adding the canned gravy to it. Just a reminder, this is just kind of me revamping already made gravy that we'll use for the Yorkshire pudding. I'm adding some of this Lipton onion soup mix for more flavoring. And I'm just making a roux, which I just use cornstarch and melted butter, so that way we can thicken up our gravy. I don't know if you noticed this yet, but I typically don't measure out my ingredients. I'm one of the ones that just eye out everything, which tends to drive most people nuts, so I apologize in advance. What you see me making now is the rub that I'm going to put all over the roast. Salt and pepper just sounded too boring to me, so I'm doing olive oil, garlic, onion, pepper, salt. I also added in some garlic salt as well as some dried rosemary and thyme. So here is our ingredients for the Yorkshire pudding, and unlike cooking, with baking I do take the measurements seriously because once you have something off, it just doesn't come out right. So first things first, let's whisk together the flour and salt, and in a separate bowl I'll do the eggs and yada yada, and we'll come back. Now that our Yorkshire pudding's put together, we have to refrigerate it for at least 30 minutes. I read online you can refrigerate for an hour or even longer. Some even suggest overnight. So we'll let that rest, and then we'll move on to making our roast beef. I have the oven preheating, and now it says to pat dry with paper towels and sprinkle with salt and pepper, which means I'm gonna do my rub on it. So let's do that now. Okay, so now that it's pat dry with this, I'm gonna remove the paper towels. For the Yorkshire pudding, I'm putting vegetable oil in the pan and then heating it up in the oven. Next, I'm adding batter to the hot pan and then putting it back in the oven. And of course, something went wrong because my Yorkshire pudding never rose. So I have like a biscuit. Luckily, the roast beef came out really good, so that's the more important of the two. So the real question is, would I make this recipe again? The roast beef, yes. The Yorkshire pudding, I'd probably use a different one. Here's the final result. Thanks for hanging out with me today. If you want, feel free to like and subscribe. And until next time, bye friends.